YouTube, Turtleags here, bringing you another AFK journey video. We finally unlocked all the spells, the Dashing spell and the Thunderbolt spell, which are both attainable from the new Brutus quest. I call it the Brutus quest because literally you see Brutus on there. I'm sure there's another name for it. It's this quest right here, the Clan Reputation quest. As you can see, in order to level up your artifacts, or at least to get the resources for them, you basically complete the daily Reputation clan quest in order to acquire more shards. As you can see, Fleetfoot shards and Thunderbolt shards. But anyways, I was requested by a viewer to talk about this because a lot of people are wondering what is the best spell. And the good news is that each one of these artifacts have a role to play depending on which mode that you run. And basically for this video, what I'll do is first I'll do a brief overview of each spell and what content that I believe and what characters I believe they have the best synergies with. And then I'll kind of give my overall rating of which spell to upgrade first if you are short on gold. As you can see here, once you reach level 20, level 20 for the artifacts, you need a good amount of gold, like 1.2 bill gold, or 1.2 mil gold, I'm sorry, as well as 5 of these artifact shards and 5 of these memento shards. And some of you guys may be wondering when do you start using this? And this was unlocked when I reached resonance level 480. Resonance level 480 allowed me to get my artifacts to level 20, and this is where you start using those artifact shards and memento shards. And artifact shards are acquired by completing certain stages in the AFK stages, and memento shards, they are acquired when you go above floor 90 in the faction tower, which is this one right here. I'll show you. This one, the Legend Trials, I'm sorry. This one right here. So as you can see, if I was to go inside, right now I'm on floor 100. As you can see, if I climb 5 more floors, I get one of these memento shards. So now that we've talked about where to acquire those level up resources, what artifacts would you recommend? So for me personally, if I'm low on gold, I would probably go for either the evocation spell, which is best in slot for say the primal lords and a lot of the dream realm bosses. For those of you guys who watch my live streams, you hear me harp on time and time again the importance of achieving a high rank in the dream realm in order to get those valuable temporal essences. So when it comes to investment of seasoned artifacts, I would say this is no different. I would highly recommend the evocation spell first. Hey, Chris, good to see you. You're on YouTube. And then another very good Dream Realm spell is the Quick Blade spell, which I've been using more frequently, along with the Crescent spell. These are both two sides of the same coin, where Quick Blade spell allows for a physical defense shred that will improve the damage output of your true damage dealing physical damage dealers such as, Corin, Marilee, Tamesia, Scarlita. Hey Maskell, good to see you. And then the Crescent spell is very good if you're running units like Odie and Cassidy as your hyper carries for the Dream Realm, because Crescent spell shreds magic defense. So in terms of priority, personally, if I'm really low on gold, like let's say I only have 3.6 mil gold, right? That's all I've got. I would probably level up the evocation spell first, followed by the Quick Blade spell, followed by the Crescent spell. And then once I get those leveled up, what would I recommend next? So I would probably recommend the Cascade spell next. And the reason for this is because this, in my opinion, is one of the strongest AFK stage pushing and Supreme Arena defense spells. And the reason for this is because Cascade spell, it grants energy to your backmost unit. And the Cascade spell has very good synergy with units like Haywin and Coco, two supports that are capable of stabilizing your party in battle by applying a 36% or to 45% damage reduction. That is quite impactful. Yeah, for survival, especially when you are deficit pushing in AFK stages, or if you are trying to defend your position in very high Supreme Arena ranks. And then after that, I would probably prioritize Stormcaller. Stormcaller's spell does have some niche role in AFK stage deficit pushing because of its ability to basically interrupt the enemies with occasional spells in order to stabilize. There's going to be moments where the enemies are hitting you so hard that you just need to interrupt them with the storm, if you will. And then after that, I would say the light heal spell would be the next one to upgrade. The reason being that the light heal spell, as you can see from the stats provided here, is one of the most defensive spells out there. I would actually say that this spell is much better than the regular season spell that, you know, the first green one that you get in the game. This one, I feel, provides a lot more utility in, for instance, you know, restoring lost HP to 2 of your weakest allies. But generally speaking, you want to run some of the more powerful spells when you're deficit pushing, such as the Cascade spell to ult faster with Coco, or Haywin, or Rowan, for instance. And then you know, the Stormcaller spell to interrupt the enemies periodically, or the evocation spell even in order to, you know, with the first spirit to apply a 45% damage reduction. Hey Synthol, good to see you. You're on YouTube. And then after you upgrade those 6, then it kind of, in my opinion, so I've play tested both of these, right? I know people were saying that, oh, the Thunderbolt spell is going to be the next Star Shard spell, and I think it's yes and no. Actually, it's leaning more towards no. The reason for this is because I noticed that the Star Shard spell, it activates more frequently, whereas the Thunderbolt spell, it activates at 2 different times from my understanding, at the 3 ultimate mark and then the 10 ultimate mark. So yeah, and then I play tested it in some AFK stage deficit pushing, and I'm going to be honest with you, I would much rather get my Coco ult off sooner, or to have spirits to offer some, you know, offensive or defensive utility, or, you know, the Quick Blade spell, who in addition to physical defense shredding is also able to stun the frontmost ally, or frontmost enemy, I'm sorry. Stun, right? Let me check. Yeah, stuns them for 1 second every 12 seconds. Yeah. So, and by the way, Quick Blade spell is in some ways more versatile than the Cascade, or I'm sorry, than the Crescent spell, because the Quick Blade spell, even if you are running magic users such as Arden or Aaron, this spell still has a lot of use. Hazeluris, good to see you. You're on YouTube. And I do run the Quick Blade spell sometimes, even if I'm not running a Floor Bell on a traditional Scarlita, Rainier, Aaron, Arden, Floor Bell, you know, crowd control team. So, and then as for the dashing spell, you know, I play test this spell almost every single every single Dream Realm and Primal. I haven't tested it on the Primal Lord, but from my experience testing the dashing spell on the Dream Realm, I do admit that I'm not as impressed with the dashing spell as I am with the Evocation, the Quick Blade, and the Crescent spell. So, hey, Slowby Art, good to see you, good to see you. That's pretty much all I have to say about these artifacts. I mean, I could read them off to you, but I've pretty much already commented on what the main reason you would play each of these spells. Kind of to elaborate on the evocation spell. This spell, I think it took a while for us to understand, but essentially the evocation spell casts 4 different spells in sequence. The bull, the lion, the bear, and the wolf. The bull applies a shield to all your units that absorbs damage equal to 45% of the team attack for 4 seconds. The lion, increases the attack percent by 25% for 4 seconds. Bear is life drain by 30 for 4 seconds. Wolf is increases haste by 40 for 4 seconds. And actually, at level 20, the duration increases to 4.5. So, and then just kind of clarifying on some things here. So the Stormcaller spell I did mention earlier was for interrupting the enemies. Essentially what happens is that, you cast powerful spells at specific times after a battle starts. So, it goes magic damage first, then physical damage next, restores, max HP for heroes, 50 seconds into the battle, and then, as you level them up. Oh yeah, here we go. Stuns all enemies for 0.5, 1, or 3 seconds on the first, second, and third cast, respectively. So this is kind of like a Quick Blade spell. If you're looking for a spell to stun the enemies, I mean, you are essentially stunning the enemies for a total of 4.5 seconds over the course of battle, but it's periodic, which means like if the enemy was going to say like KO one of your units, that extra half a second, 1 second, 3 seconds is going to help you stabilize. You'll probably notice that when you're deficit pushing, especially towards the end of the match, man, your HP is low, you may have lost a unit or two, you're barely Monka hanging on, and the Stormcaller spell can help you get out of the pickle, basically. Yeah, and then the Crescent spell I've been really liking lately because when you have, oh, thank you so much, Kiwi, for the follow, appreciate you. When you are running at least 2 to 3, if you run at least 2 magic damage dealers, which usually will be Odie and say Cassidy, or Odie and Rainier in a Dream Realm team, this Crescent spell, once you get it to level 15, has almost 100% uptime. Last day in Poland, yes, Reggie. Yeah, I finished packing. Yeah, so anyways, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. It looks like the bots have come, so I'm gonna go delete them right now. I hope you found this video helpful. If you wanted clarification on anything, do let me know in the comment section below. I do live stream most days on twitch.tv/turtleags, and I will see you in the next video.